It's that time of the year again. The Premier League is back for another season, and I've got to make my predictions. You guys know my ball knowledge is absolutely elite. So the final is going to be between Brazil and England. And for me, there's only one winner here. It's going to be Brazil. That's my prediction.
Brazil to win the World Cup.
Marquinhos! Oh, he's missed! Brazil are out!
Okay, guys, maybe my ball knowledge is a bit sus, but this time around, I think I'm going to get a lot of predictions right. To be fair, though, my Premier League predictions for last season were pretty average. I just got 1 on 3 right for relegation, and it was Southampton. Look at that, I had Leicester finishing 10th, and Newcastle 8th. These guys got Champions League. Liverpool 3rd is a bad one, too, because they ended up finishing 5th, I think. Chelsea 7th, I'll take a small win on that, because they had a horrendous season, so it's a small dub. But hey, ultimately, I managed to predict the winner right, and that counts for something. Arsenal 2nd. To be fair though, even a donkey could predict that Man City would win the Premier League. Okay guys, we took some L's on last year's prediction, but this time around, I'm gonna get things right. Starting off with relegation, I'm gonna go with Luton Town. I looked at their team, doesn't impress me. They haven't made any good signings. I feel like they're going right back down to the championship. Okay guys, predicting that another newly promoted club is gonna go down. I know it's not an impressive, groundbreaking prediction, but I feel like that's what's gonna happen. Sheffield United, again, I don't think they've invested much in their squad. They don't look all that impressive to me, and I think they're going right back down. And joining these two in the drop zone for me is gonna be Nottingham Forest. Again, not impressed with their team, haven't made that many good signings. They just look average, man, honestly. They survived the Premier League last season, which is fair play, but I don't think they're doing it again. So there you go, that's my prediction for the drop zone, and let's see if I can get things right. From 14th to 17th, I'm going to be putting teams that I believe could be in a relegation battle, but by the end of it, they'll just about survive. And I think Fulham falls in that category. To be fair, at least Fulham have invested smartly. They've got Calvin Bassey from Ajax, which is pretty big. Raul Jimenez as well, but I still think that's not enough to push for a bigger mid-table spot, so I've got them finishing 17th. Joining them there, I think, will be Everton. For some reason, once again, they haven't invested in too many signings. Look at that, guys. This is all they've done. They've signed Arnaud Danjuma on a loan deal. Ashley Young at the age of 38. Are you kidding me? What have they done? And they've sold the likes of Moise Keane, Ellis Sims, and Kunku, Yerimina. They've all gone. These guys are going to have a tough time. Joining them, I'm going to put Brentford in because, again, they're a good team. I think they're a lot better. They're not going to really be in the relegation mix. I genuinely feel even Fulham, Everton, Brentford, they're not going to be in the relegation mix. I think these three are just going to be like so much worse than everyone else. But yeah, we're putting Brentford in there because I think they're not that good. And to finish off the 14th place, I'm just going to be putting Wolves. Again, a team that they were good, man, like under Nuno Espirito Santo, but then ever since then, I just don't know. They've kind of fallen off. So for me, this will be from 14th to 20th place, and I think it's gonna finish like this. Pretty accurate. What do you guys think? Let me know. If you think these 3 teams will get relegated, the other 4 will be in the battle, I want to see your predictions in the comments. But now we get into the more juicy stuff, you know, top 13 in the Premier League, the better teams. And I'm gonna start by putting Burnley in there. This is a newly promoted team, but these guys were genuinely incredible in the championship. Vincent Kompany was absolutely incredible as their manager. I'll be real, they haven't made any groundbreaking transfers, but they've brought some really solid players in and a lot of good youngsters, like this guy from Basel, this guy from Man City's under-21, Jordan Bayer from Gladbach, Obafemi as well to get some goals. These guys, they've done a good job this window. Wood Weghorst is going to be returning as well.
Woot Weghorst, you belong on a Harry Potter film.
Not gonna lie, I rate Burnley this season. I'm excited to see how they play under Kompany in the Premier League. Gonna be putting Crystal Palace as the next club in there just because I feel like they're not good enough to finish top 7 for sure, so they're gonna get mid-table. They've got a decent team, so to be fair though, Zaha's gone, I think, right? So that's gonna be an issue for them. I'm gonna be putting West Ham as well in this category, only because they've just lost Declan Rice. That is so freaking massive. Their captain, who got them a trophy, so I think it's not gonna be so easy to adjust to life without him, so I feel Declan Rice, without him, this West Ham team is gonna find it difficult. and they're going to be in that mid-table position. Of course, we'll have Bournemouth there as well. I think I've put them really high, but it's because for some reason, I think they'll get 10th or 11th this season, maybe slightly better. Because guys, look at the transfers they've made. Some really nice players like Justin Kluivert and Romain Favre. That's their winger position sorted. Then they've brought in a new young left back. They've gotten this Traore guy in the attack. Like, they've actually tried investing.
Wait a minute.
And this is last year's Premier League table, and oh, Bournemouth finished 15th. Maybe I think I've put them a bit too high. Fulham had actually finished 10th last season. Okay, maybe I'm overrating Bournemouth, but I've got a sneaky feeling they'll get between like 12th, 11th. They can do it. Moving on to Brighton now. I think they're going to have a solid 9th finish in the Premier League. Their coach, I think, is insane. Apparently, he's inspired by Pep, and even like Pep learns things from him. So I really think Brighton have got a good squad. They're on the upwards trend, but since they lost McAllister, they might lose Moises Caicedo, who's on his way out apparently. I think 9th will be the most they can do because those are two really big players to cope without. Now we're getting to the interesting teams. So in 8th place in the Premier League, I'm going to go for Aston Villa. I can't put them higher because I rate the other teams, but Aston Villa are going to be like the best of the rest because Unai Emery is building an insane team. These guys signed Pau Torres, Moussa Diaby, as well as Yuri Tielemans. What a squad is Unai Emery building, and I'm sure they're not done yet with transfers. I think Aston Villa are going to be like a dark horse to maybe finish in the top 6 as well. They've clearly got the squad and a solid coach. But yeah, this is the Premier League, boys. Anything can happen. Now we're getting into the top 7 with all the big Premier League clubs. This is where it gets juicy. Okay, who's finishing 7th among all these teams? And for me, that's going to be Spurs. Why? Harry Kane could be on his way out, and all the chaos that transfer could cause, I just don't think they're better than any of the other teams left. So for me, Spurs are finishing 7th. Finishing 6th though, I've got Newcastle. I know last season they got Champions League, but this time around, they're going to be in the Champions League and to compete in the Premier League together. I just don't see it. Although guys, they have made some absolutely incredible signings. Tonali, Harvey Barnes, Livramento, and I'm sure they're going to splash more cash in the market. They're the world's richest club. But if I purely go on the basis of their squad right now, I think that the usual big teams in the Premier League are just a little bit better. Finishing 5th, just outside the top 4, I'm going to go with Chelsea. I feel like they've had so many player sales, and it's just a bit chaotic there with Pochettino, and that's why I'm feeling they're going to end up finishing 5th and outside the top 4. I know they've had a busy window signing a ton of players, selling a ton of players, but their star signing, Christopher Nkunku, apparently he's got an injury for the first 2 months, and I think that's going to completely change their plans. So I really feel Chelsea are going to have a bit of a struggling start to the season, and that will lead to them finishing 5th. And now we're getting to the finale, the last 4 teams in the Premier League. Who do I think is going to win? Let's start with the 4th position team, and I think that's going to be Manchester United. They're looking a lot better this season under Ten Hag, but I know they've signed Onana. Rasmus Højlund looks pretty good too, but come on. I just don't see them finishing above the 4th place. For me, the 3rd place belongs to Liverpool this season. I think they've had one terrible season. They're not going to be in the Champions League. They can focus on just the Premier League in this upcoming season. And they've improved their midfield, which was what their lacking point was. Like, Szoboszlai is an awesome signing. Who? Again, I've just completely butchered his name. I'm pretty sure it's Szoboszlai. But anyways, they've also signed McAllister. And I really think this season Mo Salah's going to hit form. So for me, they're finishing 3rd. But now we move on to the big prediction. Who's winning the Premier League? Arsenal or Man City? I could honestly go with City because that's the easy choice. But after watching the Community Shield final, I genuinely feel Arsenal have the team, now the mentality. I think they can do it. I think Declan Rice is going to be game-changing for them. Julian Timber's a baller as well. If Havertz can score a few goals, Gabriel Jesus is there too. They have it. They really have it. They're going to be up against it all season. But I'm doing it, boys. I'm predicting Arsenal to win the Premier League. This could go horribly wrong. But yeah, that is my Premier League predictions for the 23-24 season. Arsenal to finally win the Premier League. Let's go. Okay, let's also do top scorers and top assister predictions. For me, top scorer is easy. I'm just going to go with Erling Haaland. He's just a goal machine, and I think he's going to continue scoring crazy numbers. Assist-wise, though, I have a feeling it's going to be Martin Ødegaard for Arsenal, because he's just a phenomenal player, and I think he's going to guide Arsenal to that title with all his assists. Player of the season, I think I'm going to go with Odegaard. I just don't know why. I have a sneaky feeling that Odegaard is going to have just an unbelievable season. All right, that's my predictions. We'll look back at it next year and see how we've done. But yeah, let's see how things go. Oh, God. I just feel like you guys in the comments are going to rinse my ball knowledge.